girls. I can see that the competition is going well. Thanks for sending your pictures and videos. That is so cool. Good luck to everyone. Today, I wanted to tell you how I managed to put Mr. Solomon's first lesson into practice. As you know by now, attention to detail is everything. In shock, I dropped the bottle on the street, but it didn't break. As it rolled towards the curb, I bolted forward and tried to pick it up, but another hand beat me to it, a hand that was pretty big and decidedly boy-like, and I'd be lying if I said there wasn't some inadvertent brushing of the little finger, which led to a tingly sensation similar to the one I get when we use Dr. Phibbs's temporary fingerprint modification cream, only way better. I stood up, and the boy extended the bottle towards me. I took it. "Hi there." He had one hand in the pocket of his baggy jeans, pressing down, as if daring the jeans to slide off his hips and gather around his Nikes that had that too white first day of school glow about them. "So, do you come here often?" he asked in a slightly self-mocking way. I couldn't help myself. I smiled. "See, you don't even have to answer that, because I know all the rubbish bins in town, and while this is a very nice rubbish bin, it doesn't look like the kind of rubbish bin a girl like you would normally scavenge from." I opened my mouth to protest, but he went on. "Now, the rubbish bins on 7th Street, those are some very nice rubbish bins." Mr. Solomon's lesson from the first day of class came back to me, so I noted the details. The boy was about 5'10", and he had wavy brown hair, and eyes that would put even Mr. Solomon's to shame. But the thing I noticed most was how easily he smiled. I wouldn't even mention it, except it seemed to define his entire face. Eyes, lips, cheeks. It wasn't especially toothy or anything. It was just easy and smooth, like melting butter. But then again, I wasn't the most impartial judge of such things. After all, he was smiling at me. "That must not be an ordinary bottle," he said, while smiling, of course. I realized how ridiculous it must have looked. Under the warmth of that smile, I forgot my legend, my mission, everything, and I blurted the first thing that popped into my mind. "I have a cat." He raised his eyebrows, and I imagined him whipping out a mobile phone to notify the nearest mental institution that I was on the loose in Roseville. "She likes to play with bottles," I rambled on, speaking 90 miles an hour. "But her last one broke, and then she got glass in her paw. Susie, that's my cat's name. The one with the glass in her paw. Not that I have any other ones. Cats, I mean, not bottles. That's why I needed this bottle. I'm not even sure she'll want another bottle, what with the trauma of having glass in her paw," he finished for me. I exhaled, grateful for the chance to catch my breath. Exactly. Yeah, this is how a highly trained government operative behaves when intercepted on a mission. Somehow, I think the fact that the interceptor looked like a cross between a young George Clooney and Orlando Bloom might have played into that a little bit. If he'd looked like a cross between Mr. Clooney and, say, one of the Hobbits, I probably would have been far more capable of coherent thought. From the corner of my eye, I saw the overnight express truck turn into an alley. I could sense it idling there, waiting for me, so I turned and started down the street, but not before the boy said, "So, you're new to Roseville, huh?" I turned back to him. Mr. Solomon probably wouldn't lay on the horn to tell a girl to hurry up, but even through my busted comms unit, I could feel his frustration, hear the ticking clock. How did you know that?" He raised his shoulders up and down an inch or two as he shoved his hands farther into his pockets. "I've lived in Roseville all my life. Everyone I know has lived in Roseville all their life. But I've never seen you before." Maybe that's because I'm the girl no one sees, I wanted to say. But he had seen me, I realized, and that thought took my breath away, as surely as if I'd been kicked in my stomach, a comparison I'm perfectly qualified to make. "But, hey," he said, as if a thought had just occurred to him. "I guess I'll be seeing you at school." Huh? I thought for a second, wondering how a boy could ever get accepted at the Gallagher Academy, especially when Tina Walters swears there's a top-secret boys' school somewhere in Maine, and every year she petitions my mom to take us there on a school trip. Then I remembered my legend. I was a normal teenage girl, one he wasn't going to see around the halls of Roseville High, so I shook my head. I'm not in the public school system. He seemed kind of surprised by this, but then he looked down at my chest. Not that way. I was totally wearing a sweatshirt, remember? Plus, let me tell you, there's not that much to stare at. I glanced down to see the silver cross glistening against my new black sweatshirt. "What, are you homeschooled or something?" he asked, and I nodded. "For what, like religious reasons?" "Yes," I said, thinking that sounded as good as anything. Something like that. I took a backward step towards the truck, towards my classmates, towards my home. "I have to go." "Hey," he cried after me. "It's dark. Let me walk you home, for protection." I'm fairly certain I could have killed him with that pop bottle, so I might have laughed if his offer hadn't been so sweet. "I'll be fine," I called back to him as I hurried down the pavement. "Then for my protection." I couldn't help myself. I laughed as I yelled, "Go back to the carnival." 10 more steps, and I would have turned the corner. I would have been free. But then the boy shouted, "Hey, what's your name?" "Cammie." I don't know what made me say it, but the word was already out there, and I couldn't take it back. So I said again, "My name is Cammie," as if trying the truth on for size. "Hey, Cammie!" He was taking long, lazy steps, backing away from me, towards the lights and sounds of the fair in full swing. "Tell Susie she's a lucky cat." Have sexier words ever been spoken? I seriously think not. "I'm Josh, by the way." I started running as I yelled, "Goodbye, Josh!" But before the words even reached him, I was gone. That's all for today. Join us next week for some more adventures, or if you can't wait to know what happened next, you can find out in our book. I'd tell you I love you, but then I'd have to kill you.